What's going on, ISO gang? I know it's been a long time since I've been behind the camera, and I apologize. I really have been off my game a little bit. Some of it has been just because of schoolwork, but I'll be honest, some of it is just like I've been waiting for stuff to happen and see if there's really any real news to get out there. So I know there's just been a lot that's happened in the sports world as of late. I mean, just recently there's been news about Josh Giddey and, his improper relationship that is still an open investigation to see, what exactly were the rules, because obviously the age of consent is different in each state. Some it's 16, some it's 18, and obviously he's from a different part of the world. Like, he's from Australia, he's from a whole different areas. So it's just, and which has different rules, which I believe the age of consent is 16 there, so that adds an additional variable. But one of the things I want to talk about now is just the whole experiment that's been going on in Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Clippers. Recently they added James Harden, which I spoke about in a previous video. And so far the experiment is still a little early to say, but I mean, I don't think it's gone as planned. I think they can at least agree to that. I think it's just still a lot of moving parts, still a lot of people still a lot of things that are having to get worked out between James Harden and the rest of the crew, because it's like you have a lot of talent together. But I mean, we've seen this time and time again, and even I was kind of speaking to this before, like, a lot of times when you get all this talent together, it's going to take a lot of sacrifice. And I just don't know if this team is in a place to do that. I mean, we've seen recently Russell Westbrook trying to, take a backseat. Like, he came to the coach and asked to come off the bench, which I feel like was very, admirable of him. But I don't know if it's going to be enough to right the ship now. I mean, I think they're like a game or two back from 500. They were starting to win a couple of games and starting to get back on track. But I feel like it's the Clippers, unfortunately, are just like cursed to like do well with this team. I mean, they've been plagued with injuries for so long, and then there's just not a lot of continuity. There's still not really any chemistry with this group. So I just don't know. I don't really know where to go from here, because you've gotten back some of your assets from the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander trade, but you haven't gotten a lot, and you've been able to dump off some bad salaries, like with Marcus Morris, and with Robert Covington, just kind of gotten rid of some of the older players that were on expiring deals. But I just don't know if this is still the move. I don't know if this is where you want to go from here. I need more time to see where this goes for me to give a definitive yes or no on this trade. Again, it's still very early. And I mean, they've just kind of been up and down. They fluctuated. So it's hard to say what's really going to go on with them. And honestly, I don't know what Ty Lue's situation is going to look like if he can't work this out, because I believe this is his second, or may even be his third year as the head coach for the Los Angeles Clippers. And I know that he's a great coach and he's capable of doing it, but it's going to be a group effort. And the last thing, this is, I believe, James Harden's last chance to get this right. If he ends up messing it up somehow, if it goes south and they don't even make the playoffs, then I know James Harden may want to point the finger at everyone else, but this is obviously going to be on him. Because if we're being honest, the Clippers were rolling before he got there. And then he got there and it messed up the whole chemistry. So, I mean, there'll be some explaining to do if they don't even make it to the playoffs. And honestly, with this roster, if healthy, I think at least conference finals should at least be their goal. I think that should at least be their goal. And I'm sure they want to win a championship as well, which would be great. But just knowing their health, I just don't know if they'll be able to withstand the playoffs long enough to get there. But, let me know your thoughts on this situation. Do you feel like this was the wrong move for Los Angeles to make? Do you think they have time to right the ship? Or do you think it's just over? They should just break up this Kawhi and PG tandem and just start fresh. But let me know your thoughts.